What if I told you that within seconds of a social media profile being created for a child, predators were seeking it out and interacting with it? If you were a mother or a father and saw a predator left a comment on a video of your child, what would you do? Would you delete the comment? Would you take your kids off social media? Or would you create them their own dedicated social media platform? Today, we are going... Don't you dare start. I fixed everything. Today, we are discussing influencer Abbey Fickelys' decision to create her daughter's own adult YouTube channel. In spite of the current creepy comments that she receives already being featured on her mom's platform, the mounting piles of evidence, and all of the kid influencers / child actors speaking out about it, she thought that this was the direction to go because, Em is almost 10 and she deserves to express herself through her own lens, not that of her mother's. And this isn't just about Abbey and her extremely irresponsible decision. It's a growing trend among influencers to create kidfluencers out of their children. Today, we are going to discuss all the dangers that come behind posting kids online in the kidfluencer era that we live in. But first, hey guys, welcome to DeInfluenced. I'm Sasha, and here is where I dig into influencer culture. One, so you guys don't have to, but mostly to hold influencers accountable for their crappy behaviors, because it's not just about drama. It's the dangerous actions that can have real life impacts on their audience as well as their families. And my hope is to help you guys discern where to spend your social media currency. Today, as I said, I'll be updating you about Abbey Fickeley and her terrible decision-making abilities. And I'm going to show you guys some pretty scary things that explain just why this is a terrible decision. So, let's go, guys. Today, we're not only going to be discussing how this is really terrible and potentially really detrimental for Em, we're also going to have a conversation about how, in general, it is dangerous to post kids online, which in 2024, I'm not sure why we're still having to have this conversation, but here we are. An adult YouTube channel was created for a 10-year-old, so evidently we still need to have this conversation. And I'm gonna show you guys just how quickly things can get scary. First, a little background about Abbey. For those that didn't catch my Dip the Toes dive, I will link it here for you. But if you don't wanna jump over, I'll be waiting when you get back, but if you don't wanna jump over, a brief little overview about Abbey. She is a cross-platform social media influencer who gained her rise to fame by going viral being a sober bartender. Her story inspired a ton of people, and her way with words and her personality allowed her to build a fairly large following relatively quickly. She currently sits at 1.65 million subscribers on YouTube. On TikTok, she has 677,000, and on Instagram, she only has 240,000 followers, which is still a lot of followers, but clearly Instagram's not her main focus. As with all public figures, with fame comes scrutiny, with many people feeling that Abbey's decision to go bartend while just, having walked out of rehab might not be the best and most sustainable job for her and for her health and recovery. As time went on, speculation started to grow that Abbey might have relapsed. Whether or not this is true, this is the kind of scrutiny that public figures open the door to. People are quick to give their opinion on things, to give armchair diagnoses, and as adults, we choose to put ourselves online, understanding that these comments, these speculations come with the territory. But kids, it's a completely different story. And the problem when we add kids to the mix is that this kind of environment quickly becomes toxic for a child to be a part of. Constantly having people pick apart her mother for potentially having relapsed and for custody issues and stuff like that. As this child grows, she's going to see what people are saying about her mom and therefore about her. And when you're a controversial person with a controversial platform, well, that can get dangerous for kids and realistically anyone's mental health. I don't know how some of these rage baiters continue to thrive the way they do, but okay. So as time went on and the bartending stuff kind of fizzled out, she was then grifting on the single mom vibe, more so. And her daughter, Em, started to make more and more appearances in her content. So what's the next step? Well, she made her own adult YouTube channel, not a kids channel, which, no, it wouldn't be much better, but at least she'd be safer in those algorithms. If you don't think predators are on YouTube Kids seeking out that content, like, t'as la tête dans la lune, because like you are not down here on earth. They are absolutely over there. But you can't comment, and it keeps children out of adult algorithms. But I know you guys are worried, so don't worry, guys. She decided to keep the comments off on M's channel, which, can we take a vote now how long we think that's gonna last? Like how many days, weeks, months? Because frankly, I think that when she sees that more engagement means more money for her, she's gonna just go ahead and give predators more intimate access to her daughter. That's my opinion though. But turning off comments does not protect M from the it doesn't take away the fact that they're taking her videos and doing whatever nefarious thing they please with the videos. Because these people are online actively seeking out content made by children that feature children. Are we getting along back there? But Abbey clearly does not care about her child's safety or have her best interest in mind. And I say this because any mother, any parent with a head on their shoulders who is thinking rationally would not allow their child to continue on social media and streamline the content in one place had their kid been getting predatory comments like M does on Abbey's videos. And I have examples of it that we are going to go through right now. Some people get to be around Mila and other people not so much. That's not fair. Not fair, 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 not... Apparently it's not fair. Apparently it's not fair. So pretty, Mila. You're so sexy. She's 9. Maybe not even in this one. She might be 8, 7, 6. I don't know. I don't know when this was taken. It was taken 4 months ago. Well, the comment was made 4 months ago. Calling a 9-year-old sexy. Cool. This is the world we live in. Whoa, Mila. That's the same person who commented that first comment too. So many people, not Mila, around me is disorienting. That's the same person. This person is obsessed with this kid. That's messed up. So those are just a couple of the really creepy comments that M gets. And she thinks that, that person's not gonna go and keep all of ew, how could you be okay with this? Any responsible mother would not keep these comments up, would not interact with these comments, like them, and just let them exist. Her daughter is already at risk, is already being preyed on by predators. And there's a few big problems with creating her own YouTube channel with content that is focused only on her. First of all, the glaringly obvious one that we are increasing her reach and exposure to predators, allowing them to have full unfettered access to her and her content. And these predators are going to share and export it, download it, and crap for whatever reason. They're going to deep fake it. Why not make it more easy then for Plutos to find her in the algorithm, right? And having the potential of being placed in the very wrong algorithm too, mind you, because how the YouTube algorithm works, if someone likes a certain whatever, they're going to be fed more of that specific content or creator. So as predators find her and share her content, they are going to get fed it more and more, which again would be slightly mitigated had she created her a YouTube Kids channel. And then on top of all of this, we can't forget the fact that she cannot give informed consent, nor can you give her all the information in order for her to give consent. Because do you think that Abby's sitting there telling Maya that 40, 50-year-old men are going to be watching her videos, downloading her videos? No, she's not. Obviously, she's not saying that to her daughter. And what does M think? Well, she probably thinks that I'm making videos for a bunch of other 9-year-olds. I'm going to hang out online with a bunch of other 9-year-old girls who like skincare and makeup. Those are the people that are going to be watching my stuff, right? So she's going into it not knowing that she already has predators seeking her out. And that is creepy and gross and irresponsible. I honestly cannot fathom that sitting here at the end of 2024, we're still having this conversation and that a parent could see a comment like that, could see a picture like this posted about their child and not protect them and their best interest. Sometimes we have to say no to our kids. And sometimes it's more important to be a parent than it is to be a friend. And in this case, if M did go and ask for a YouTube channel to be able to do her own thing, then it was Abby's responsibility to not be her kid's friend and be like, no, you know what? That's a little too much for you right now. Maybe when you're older, if you're still interested, but for right now, it's a little too dangerous. And then have an age-appropriate conversation about how it's dangerous, about how this can affect her life in the future. I don't know what she was thinking, seeing those comments and being like, hey, yeah, let's make it better and easier for predators to grab this content, for this guy to feed off of my child. I don't get it. She's literally handing predators her child on a silver platter with it all in one convenient location. Now, of course, there's Abby and her poor decision making, but she's not the only one. This is a growing pandemic almost of these influencer parents forcing their kids to be kidfluencers, and child exploitation and the monetization of children and the commodifying of their life is so big now that these greedy, selfish parents are just eating it all up, completely neglecting their child's mental health and well-being in the process. And it's crazy because you have so many child stars and kid influencers who have grown out of the industry who have literally said, this ruined my life. And I'm sure a lot of them, when they were 9, 8, 7 years old, were thinking, oh, it would be so fun to be on YouTube. I know my kids have said it once or twice. Oh, it'd be so fun to film. I want to film YouTube videos. Yeah, okay, no, but cool, let's film a little video. I set up my camera and let my kid film a video of him building a Lego set and he pretended he was filming a YouTube video. Is that ever going to see the light of day? Maybe at his wedding one day. Maybe. But no, it's not going to be posted. So there's a way to allow your kids to express themselves, to have an outlet without exploiting them and putting them in front of the eyes of predators. There have been studies that show that a lot of the predatory content comes directly from images and videos shared on social media. According to the Internet Watch Foundation, predators have been known to lurk around and scrape up any content that features children and repurpose it for their own nefarious grossness. That is scary and should be a wake-up bell to anyone who's still posting their kids online and exploiting them. And as I said earlier, the algorithms make this even worse. So you're not just posting your kids online, you're giving predators direct access to your children. And is this fair? No, of course it's not fair. It's not fair that predators exist, that pedos exist, that people who want to harm children and are attracted to children exist. It's not fair, but it's your responsibility to protect your kids from it. And it's such a dumb excuse that so many influencers use, this whole, oh, well, why should I have to if they're like, da, 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 da. It's not my fault that they're there. Yeah, but your kids are your responsibility to protect. DCP said it perfectly when he said, if you know there's a predator sitting at the park, are you going to stay? Are you going to send your kid to that park knowing that there's a predator there? No, of course not. But we're using this whole out of sight, out of mind bullshit as an excuse to serve our kids up on a silver platter? No. These kids that are being plastered online are having their pictures and videos taken, and they're being altered by AI, by deep fake technology, by the advances in Photoshop, and being shared on the dark web or being shared among predators. That should be so scary and such a wake-up call for people, but it's not. They keep doing it, and the worst part of it all is they know. They've seen the comments. They've seen the interaction when the kid's mouth is open in the thumbnail versus... It's not hard to see. Like this, that was posted in the comments, and this is just a drawing. A horrific drawing nonetheless. But you don't think there's other pictures like this that exist out in the wild? There absolutely is. And this picture was posted in her comment section for 5 days. It's either she's completely irresponsible with her comment section and never checks them, which is dumb because you post your kid online, so maybe get rid of the pedophile comment. Just saying. Just saying. Or she knows and does nothing about it. Those are the two options. Or knows, deletes it, but still continues to post her child. And no matter what the decision is, it's not the decision of a good, responsible parent with their kid's best interest in mind. On top of that, we have privacy violations, right? There's the dangers of being put in front of predators, but you also have the privacy aspect of it all. Kids don't know what's appropriate to share, what's inappropriate to share. They don't. Even when I was in nursing school, we were told, you can't do this, don't post this, go clean up your social media, don't do this. Because even adults don't realize how their actions, even 20 years ago, can have real-world impacts on them today. Children cannot consent to having their lives broadcasted online. This is a conversation we've had in the past and we will continue to have in the future because they cannot consent, period. And it's not even just their faces. It's their names, their birthdays. Abbey has posted the front of their house, their address in the background. She's posted what school M goes to, I'm pretty sure, on the first day of school pictures. And as they grow, they're going to be subjected to bullying, to emotional trauma, all because their parents chose to share them online. Could you imagine when you're older, a teenager going to get your first job, and the first thing the boss brings up is the fact that you had a tantrum when you were 6 online and asks what that was all about? This is the reality that these kids live in. It's either that or they're destined to have a life on social media, one that they might not want because their life is a joke to anyone who knows them thanks to their parents. Or they can't be taken seriously because they grew up and were horrifically exploited online. And no matter which way you slice it, it's bad news bears. And then the emotional exploitation and manipulation that a lot of these kids face. Most of them are coerced or bribed into making content and feeding into the audience and basically sustaining their parents' lifestyle. Their lives literally become commodified for likes and views and sponsorships and engagement. And I saw this one comment on one of Abbey's videos. It was saying that M should do the sponsorships. Abbey, idea. Next time you film a pause video and have a sponsorship, please, when you say, let's pause for a sponsorship of this video, pause, but have M say it. It will definitely put a smile on many's faces. Now, I don't think this poster meant any harm by this, obviously, but what people don't realize is you're literally asking a child to work for her mom to get paid. Doing a sponsorship ad is work. Now, this was on a pause the shopping video where at least M is reaping some of the rewards of the money she makes her mom. But then if you add in the sponsorship aspect of it, it's literally child labor, putting your kids to work. And the mental toll that these children suffer from in these types of environments is enormous. I saw a couple articles from Dr. Pam Rutledge, who is a media psychologist who has been outspoken about the dangers of sharenting and sharing kids online. Here's a little statistic from her blog post, which I will link down below. What is the impact of sharing on kids? In 2010, 92% of US children had an online presence by the age of 2. Like posted online, I guess. This is some combination of parents sharing images on their sites and, in many cases, creating Instagram or Facebook accounts for the child. That was 9 years ago. These kids are growing up on Instagram, literally and metaphorically. As kids age into their tweens and early teens, their sensitivity to image increases and their peer acceptance increases as part of their developmental arcs. What seemed fun at 5 might lose some of its appeal at 10. Some kids feel exposed when they have no control over the images that were posted without their consent and without consideration for how it makes the kids look to their friends. Some kids are trying to take back control of their images by asking their parents to give them veto rights over the images they post. Good. The boundary between parent and child complicates this. Parents share what their kids do as a reflection of their role as a parent. From the parent's perspective, this may be more about the parent than the child. These images are not only posted and shared, they are permanent and searchable elements of the internet. If the parents are using Instagram or Facebook, the images are legally property of Facebook. If they are tagged, they show up in a Google search. Whew, that's really sad. The conversation is clearly growing, and I'm so happy that more psychologists and professionals are speaking out against it. Another person is Dr. Leslie on TikTok, who has been very open about sharing just how predators get a hold of this content and how they share it and what they do with it as well. So that's another person to go check out. Now, it comes to a point where we have to ask ourselves, do the kids know what's going on? The reality is that in the beginning, likely not. But there's definitely a shift, most likely around puberty, 9, 10, 11 years old, where the kids start to realize just how manipulated they've been and start to not want to perform for their parents anymore. Up until a certain point, they're just kids being kids, not realizing that every milestone, tantrum, teachable moment, whatever, is being shared and consumed by millions of eyeballs, by strangers and by predators. But as they grow older, it becomes glaringly obvious. You think these children who grow up in the public eye and then get their own social media channel aren't reached out to at that point, even if they're still minors, 13 years old, allowed to have their first social media account? They absolutely are. And then reality slaps them in the face. Oh, I haven't been filming videos for 9-year-olds. Oh, well, I don't really like this anymore. Imagine being that kid, realizing that strangers on the internet know more about your childhood than you can even remember. They feel like they have this closeness to you. That's so violating as a person. And people know everything about you. That's dangerous levels of parasocial relationships that can be built off of that information. People thinking that you're friends with them because they know so much about you when you have no idea who they are. That's where the dangers start to creep in for these children. And worst of all, they have zero say in it. until it's too late, until they can't take things back. As we just read, it creates a permanent digital trace when you post an image on the internet. Overall, this results in miserable children, teenagers, and adults. There have been so many people who have come out to say that being a kid influencer has ruined their life, or being a child star has ruined their life. And the studies are showing us that these people are living as adults with substance use disorders or anxiety, depression disorders because of being raised in the public eye and being subjected to all of that public scrutiny that's unsolicited and unconsenting. I want to talk now about a few people who have spoken out. One most recently and most notably being Sherry Frankie. She's one person who has been open about how kidfluencing and being a kidfluencer ruined her life. And I want to share with you guys her testimony that she gave to Utah lawmakers, speaking out against how family vlogging basically ruined her life. She has touched on like creepy comments in the past and stuff like that, and how it just messes with your mind. So let's take a look.
Right. Thank you for having me today. My name is Sherry Frankie. My mother, Ruby Frankie, is a prominent family vlogger that was arrested last year for child abuse. I don't come today as the daughter of a felon, nor as a victim of an abnormally abusive mother. I come today as a victim of family vlogging. My goal is not to present any idea of a solution to this problem, but to shed light on the ethical and monetary issues that come from being a child influencer. When children become stars in their family's online content, they become child influencers. It is more than just filming your family life and putting it online. It is a full-time job with employees, business credit cards, managers, and marketing strategies. The difference between family vlogging and a normal business, however, is that all the children are employees. Children from before they are born to the day they turn 18 have become the stars of family businesses on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media platforms. Utah is specifically a hotspot for family content due to the LDS culture around family and the goal to share the church with the world. We also have large families, which makes family content more lucrative.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad she brought that up, because the thing that a lot of really big family vloggers have is big families. And that's because it gets to a certain point. Obviously, in Utah, we have the religion aspect to it and the quiverful movement and all that stuff. But it gets to a point in family vlogging where the views aren't making it anymore. So they have to have another baby because babies.
Specifically, many parents film their regular family life as an online video blog called a vlog. But I want to be clear that there is never, ever a good reason for posting your children online for money or fame. There is no such thing as a moral or ethical family vlogger. At first, family vlogging is an alluring business that can bring high revenue. For my family, it became the primary source of income, as is often the case with most full-time family vloggers. Many child influencers are paid for their work, as I was, and this money has helped me in my adult life. However, this payment was usually a bribe.
Well, thank God for that, at least. At least she paid them. But as she goes on to say, it's often a bribe. So it's not like the kid worked and earned this money because they worked hard and wanted to work hard to earn money. No, they're bribed into doing it, coerced.
For example, we'd be rewarded $100 or a shopping trip if we filmed a particularly embarrassing moment or an exciting event in our lives.
Oh my God.
Or other times, simply going on vacation was expected to be payment enough, because most kids don't get to go on regular and expensive trips. Never mind the fact that the child's labor is actually what paid for the vacation or trip. There is no law in place to guarantee that child influencers get any money from their work. If a family account does not become an LLC, parents are taxed heavily for paying their children. But parents also receive tax write-offs for the regular clothes that they wear, the gas money used to drive places, and even the houses they live in. Anything that is filmed can be written off. And even after registering their business as an LLC, there is no guarantee that children will get paid. Any payment that does happen is under the table with no paper trail. And how do we determine how much a child should make from appearing in family content? What price is worth giving up your childhood? But despite any monetary payment children may receive, don't let this excuse the 24/7 labor that these children are subjected to.
Literally.
As a child, I was fully aware that I was an employee. The business was successful when I was happy, or when I shared my hardships with the world. Some of our most popular videos were when my eyebrow was accidentally waxed off, and the whole world saw a crying teenager when I just wanted to mourn in private. Or the time I was violently ill and got the leading role in the video that day. My friends became scarce because dates were filmed, and none of my friends wanted to be on camera. The camera never stops, and there is no such thing as a break from filming. At the time, I tell you I had a choice in what was filmed, but I've come to learn that every child influencer, in a way, suffers from Stockholm Syndrome. Most child influencers would probably tell you they have full control over what is posted, but the reality is that their parents bribe and shame them into posting their most vulnerable moments. In fact, many child influencers may tell you that they enjoy their work because of the monetary perks they receive or the fun experiences that they can have. After all, what child would say no to a fun vacation or shopping spree if all they needed to do was film an embarrassing moment? But as children, we do not understand the consequences of filming our lives and posting it for the world to see. We cannot give consent to our parents to post our lives. In any other context, it is understood that children cannot give consent, but for some reason, people think family vlogging is different. I did not realize the impact that filming as a child would have on me now. My social media became...
I did not realize the impact that filming as a child would have on me now. Powerful.
Flooded with rumors of having sexual relations with my own brother to being called a baby birthing machine at the age of 13.
Baby birthing machine at 13. That's a creepy comment. That's one of the creepy comments that she got.
All these things have stuck with me, and I will forever live between the ages of 13 to 17 in many of my viewers' minds. In addition, pedophiles stalk the internet, specifically seeking out child influencers. I promise you that the parents are aware of these predators and choose to post their children anyway. I understand that this is a big issue.
There's no way that they're not aware. There's no way to plead ignorance
to tackle, and I am not asking you to ban family vlogging, though that is my end goal. I also understand that as Utahns, we don't appreciate big government overreach, but when it comes to protecting children, it should be a bipartisan issue. The only people harmed by child influencer laws are the parents exploiting their children. While this may not seem like an issue now, as child influencers in Utah continue to grow up, I foresee there will be legal crises, with these children realizing that vlogging has brought severe emotional distress, or these kids may realize they don't have an appropriate amount of money to show for their labor. After all, how does that child know how much they should have made versus what their parents may or may not have paid them? Let's deal with this now before we reach that point. But even despite a good paycheck, I want to be absolutely clear that there is no amount of money that can justify selling your soul as a child to the world. In no other industry would we justify unregulated child labor with a huge...
Yeah, exactly. It's completely unregulated child labor just because it's in the context of, they're doing this, they're doing that. Yeah, but they have to perform. It's not just, just film this. No, they have to perform and fit this certain image that their parents have crafted and created.
Paycheck, and we should not do that here. If I could go back and do it all again, I'd rather have an empty bank account now and not have my childhood plastered all over the internet. No amount of money I received has made what I've experienced worth it. While I don't have all the answers or many feasible solutions for this problem, I am proud to be one of the first child influencers in the state of Utah to speak against this issue. I don't want people to look at me and blame my unique circumstances with a mother in prison to the Frankie criminal case. Family vlogging ruined my innocence long before Ruby committed a crime. I promise you that my experience...
Long before Ruby committed a crime. Yikes. I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Experiences are not unique and are happening to child influencers all over Utah and the country. So let's tackle this issue before it becomes a bigger crisis than it already is. Thank you.
Amazingly well said. She said it perfectly. She will forever remain between 13 and 17 in the eyes of some of the people that consumed her content. She will forever be that little kid. Her identity is shaped around being Sherry Frankie, Ruby Frankie's daughter. Eldest daughter. I'm so proud of her for speaking out because I can't imagine how hard the last year has been on her and her siblings. That's heartbreaking. The fact that they feel zero control over the content shared about them and that they're basically forced into sharing the most embarrassing, vulnerable moments, that's not okay and really, really sad. It doesn't just stop at kid influencers. If we look at child stars nowadays, we have so many who are speaking out against how it ruined their life. All the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon Channel stars are begging for stricter laws and protections in place and are speaking out against the kid influencer world, linking it to themselves and how they were exploited. I know Cole Sprouse has been open about how his mom basically forced him and his brother into Hollywood and how that ruined his life. I think they started when they were infants. Tiny little babies. And then you have Demi Lovato speaking out against child stardom. And you have Allison Stoner, who started an entire podcast dedicated to taking down Hollywood. called Dear Hollywood. And then there's Jeanette McCurdy, who wrote an entire book on how being forced into acting by her mom ruined her life and being coerced, and the only reason she did it was to make her mom happy. Again, Sherry said it perfectly. Most of these child stars, kid influencers, have Stockholm Syndrome with their parents who are trying to exploit the ever-living crap out of them for their own monetary gain or fame and notoriety. Just recently, the documentary Quiet on Set was released, which threw Dan Schneider under the bus and exposed how toxic the Nickelodeon environment was. On top of all of that, you also have on Reddit AMAs from former kids stars who have opened up about how family vlogging ruined their life and are exposing it anonymously because they fear repercussions of their parents. Honestly, guys, I was thinking this because I'm actually refilming this. Long story, but we're refilming. But I was thinking of compiling all of the times that family vloggers have spoken out or the AMAs and just putting it all in a video to be like, here, it's not okay anymore. It's just not. None of those stories are positive outcomes of kidfluencing or child stardom. Not a single one. They grow up messed up mentally because of this. Because it's not healthy for children to have to bear the weight of their household income on their shoulders or the success of the channel of this, of that. That's not fair for kids. With influencers versus child stars, we have that intimate parasocial relationship that can be formed with vlogging and exposing your kids online because it's more details, it's more personal, and people have access to DM the kids or comment or interact in some way. And that's how dangerous parasocial relationships are created when predators or people in general have communication with these kids. It's not safe. And after all of this, if you honestly think the risks are still exaggerated, I'm about to show you a video that proves that we are not exaggerating in the slightest. It's one of the most eye-opening videos I personally have ever seen, and it's a mother posing as an 11-year-old girl on social media to try and catch predators. I want to offer a huge trigger warning for everyone. This is extremely disturbing. It's horrifically terrifying. And Sherry saying that the parents know, which we already knew that the parents know that this type of stuff happens and exists. But this video puts it very nicely into words of just how terrifying it is. So let's take a look at this huge trigger warning, guys.
I never thought I would be chasing child predators. It was 2 years ago when our team intercepted conversations between a 12-year-old girl and a 40-year-old pedophile. He wasn't just talking to her. He was abusing her, coercing her, collecting images and videos, and no one in her life, her parents, sixth grade teacher, or friends, knew what was happening. I have a sixth grader of my own. I have 3 kids, actually, but you don't have to be a parent to be devastated by this. I work for a tech company that uses artificial intelligence to detect issues like grooming and sexual predation, and this is something we see constantly. These abuses are occurring quietly and mostly go unreported, and we want parents to know exactly what we know about what happens online. So we made a plan.
A man has been arrested for allegedly raping a 15-year-old that he met over Snapchat.
Instagram has become the #1 social media site.
At the top of the free download.
We've also seen firsthand the predatory symbiotic relationship that exists between Instagram and Snapchat.
We would create a fictitious 15-year-old girl, complete with a believable social media identity, put her online, and document how long it would take for a predator to approach her. But creating a person out of thin air is complicated. We needed photos, but we knew we couldn't use an actual teenager. It would have to be someone on our team. I'm 37, but our graphic designers assured me that with the wonders of photo manipulation, they could magically make me look over 2 decades younger. We bought clothes and accessories, studied body language and facial expressions. We methodically covered and edited signs of aging, wrinkles, weight shifts, and stretch marks. Meanwhile, we coordinated with federal, state, and local law enforcement. Then we built a story around her, a history, a family, a social circle. Libby was born in 2004 and is a sophomore who recently moved to Indiana. We created multiple online accounts for Libby, prominently displayed her age, and posted typical teen content. We even created virtual friends for Libby who would comment on her posts. With everything in place, we would launch the project, give it a few months, and see if anyone would buy it. So we hit the button, and Libby went live. Within the first hour of posting on Libby's...
These are real messages, by the way, and comments that people left. Do you like older guys? I want your tight young body. Like, within the first hour of posting on Libby's accounts, 7
adult men contacted her. By the end of 9 days, that number was 92. The conversations ranged in severity from making sexual comments to sharing and requesting explicit photos and videos to manipulation and threats. The onslaught was so massive, it took 5 of us playing Libby full-time to keep up.
Oh my God. The mental toll that must have taken on these people, these 5 people. Like, I couldn't even imagine seeing some of the things that they saw, knowing that these people are talking to a 15-year-old. I have a recently 16-year-old, and if I ever found out that someone was
Decided to move off-site where we could scale up the operation and gather as much information and evidence as possible. Since Libby is 15, men might try to falsely justify their actions towards her because of her proximity to adulthood. Would parents question, where's the bar? Would a 13-year-old face the same barrage of predators? A 12-year-old? How young could it possibly go? The graphics team transformed me into 11-year-old Bailey.
Oh, okay, so there was 15-year-old Libby and 11-year-old Bailey. Okay, so I'm not crazy. There is an 11-year-old. Okay.
Bailey is afraid of the dark. She hasn't had her first crush yet. She's still prepubescent. A parent might assume Bailey would be insulated from any sort of predatory attack. We launched our 11-year-old persona online.
444 and go.
This is the worst. They launched it online at 4:44.
One like from a guy whose profile photo is a penis.
So let's say 1 minute and 7 seconds. We have a message request.
Although sorry, 2 more requests just came in. How much time? 1 minute and 40 seconds?
Yeah. How old are you? You go to the profile, you know that is a child. It also says in the profile that the child is in 6th grade.
Another one.
It's just lighting up. Like the inbox is just boom, 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 boom.
Ew.
An incoming video call in less than 5 minutes.
Oh my God. I didn't watch this far last time, guys. I don't know. Can I handle this?
I can't see you. Don't be shy.
They all say don't be shy.
Few parents know just how dangerous these platforms are for so many kids. So we brought some on site so they could see for themselves. 11-year-old Bailey's persona was approached with an even more disturbing level of manipulation and requests.
Oh my God. I love your pictures. Does your mom and dad let you have a boyfriend? Yeah, ew. A lot of boyfriends like when girlfriends give them blowjob. Do you know what that means? If you need to be asking someone if they know what that means, then you need to be yeeted off of this planet.
While the majority of the abuse happened from a distance, our child profiles also received requests to meet up in person, especially our 15-year-old persona. 28-year-old Keith was relentless. Like the others, he took no issue with Libby's age. He shared explicit videos of himself. He treated the virginity of an underage girl as a prize to be stolen. It was a tough decision, but if Keith wanted to meet Libby in person, we would let him. We synced up with our law enforcement contacts, and within 24 hours, we were on the ground and ready to meet. We already had evidence of what he had done online, but was he willing to carry things out in real life? We knew 37-year-old me attempting to pass for 15-year-old Libby would be a challenge. But I would wear a hat, a lot of makeup, and a big sweatshirt, and see if he showed up.
did see this.
How are you?
I did see this part. This is real. This, like, I know it's all disturbing, but this is, like, extra disturbing. This is Libby, right? The 15-year-old. Like, I just...
You too. Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
Okay. Is it what you expected?
Well, yeah.
So you want to stay?
Wait, so do you want to go for a walk first?
What's wrong? Why you're not trying to rush upstairs?
What was that?
Why you're not trying to rush upstairs?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
Now let's go upstairs then. Don't be nervous.
I've never done anything like this before, so I'm a little nervous.
It's the first for everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush you. We just go upstairs and talk.
Okay.
I'm not gonna rush you as I'm rushing you upstairs. He's also wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt. Like, ew.
Have you ever...
Shy.
You promised you wouldn't be shy. So, like, what the
Are you okay with me being 15?
I've never done it. But it's okay. I like to gentle, make you comfortable. I don't want to stay with feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Are you hungry?
I'm trying to dodge it.
Cyber tips coming in from the National Center for Missing and Exploited.
Bark turns over these potential child predators to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Using the app has led to arrests like this one in Florida last year.
The brutal reality is that a predator doesn't have to be in the same room, building, or even country to abuse a child. Libby and Bailey may not be real, but they represent countless children who are being sexually and psychologically abused, both online and in real life. I think about how I would have felt as a young, impressionable child. I would have kept the abuses to myself for fear of being shamed and blamed. I would have suffered with it, secretly and quietly.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, did you have a good day?
Yeah. Don't ask my phone.
Yeah.
I was wondering, so in 2 more days you're gonna come back?
That's right.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
Our work has led to numerous arrests, but it's a drop in the bucket. Our work, nor the work of law enforcement or legislation, will ever be able to protect children as well as engaged parents and guardians can. When asked, my advice for parents is to talk to your kids early and often, know what apps they're using and with whom they're communicating. When facing crisis, kids need a soft place to land. Make sure they know they can come to you for help.
That is heavy. My palms are sweating. That is so incredibly disturbing. And deep breath, guys. Now, if we reel it back in and think about Abby's situation, if this could happen, what we just watched, to a fake 11-year-old, a fake 15-year-old, what do you think is going to happen to this 9, 10-year-old little girl who is now visible to predators online across the world? This isn't speculation. This is reality, a dangerous one that we're living in. And we can only plead ignorance for so long. Abbey knows. Parents of influencer kids know that this is a thing that is happening, that their children are actively being preyed upon, and they do nothing about it. It's disturbing and disgusting and completely immoral and unethical. And any good parent would never subject their kids to this kind of life. They just wouldn't. And it's not just critiquers or trolls that are speaking out about Abby's decisions. I went through the comments on her post talking about launching my channel, and almost every single comment was negative. Girl, she's 10 years old. She's a child. Your baby. You know what people are doing out here with content posted of children. I know you do. Why do you want your adult subscribers to watch your child? This is weird and wrong and gross. I've watched you for a long time, but I can't jive with this at all. This really worries me. Please take the time to think about the comments being left. It is not an attack. This goes far deeper than a child being allowed to have a creative outlet. Unfortunately, the predators have made the internet a very unsafe place, especially for a child. Please do your research on predator playlists and the content they seek out. Please be mindful you have not been secretive about your location, home layout, etc. Again, please take into account the comments. Oof, this is not the move. Out of the 400 plus comments, every one of them is a negative towards this idea. It might be a very good idea to listen. There is a reason the first video of her sucking on a straw has 24,000 views. It's the same reason Abby's video with her daughter holding a pickle in the thumbnail has 16 million views. They know. I 100% love you wanting to express herself online, and I know she has her own lovely voice and ideas that deserve to be conveyed by her. I love your endless support for your daughter and the way you always think about her safety and prioritize it. Well, this isn't thinking about that or prioritizing it, but cool. With all that being said, after reading through comments, most of the people who may view her channel might not be the people in her demographic or even mine. I'm 27. Genuinely love you guys and want nothing but the best for y'all. It's not my place at all to tell you what to do. I just want to say it may not be the best idea to let her be viewed by potential creeps and perverted old men. And I'm only saying this because I've come to love and care about y'all so much. You've greatly inspired and helped with my sobriety. I know in today's world there's a ton of disgusting people out there and would hate to see anything happen to you or Mila. So as you can see, it's not trolls. It's people who genuinely love them and care about them and care about Mila's safety. I love your content, but this is super scary. I'm not doubting or hating on you and your ability to monitor the channel. I would just be hesitant, maybe even if you let her do videos on your channel for a while. 10 is so young and unfortunately a super vulnerable age. And again, not hating or questioning your parenting choices. We all get to decide what is best as your child's mom. I'm just voicing my concern as someone who cares. It's fans. Longtime fans too. One of the most frustrating rebuttals that we hear from influencers is that people are just jealous or just bullying. This isn't the case. These people are genuinely expressing their love and deepest concerns with this decision. There are hundreds of comments saying that this is a bad idea. And what does she do? She ignores every single one of them. And that last commenter was right. It's not our place. She's the parent. She gets to decide at the end of the day. But that doesn't mean that she's making a responsible decision or a good decision or one with her child's safety in mind. And if I ever see that comment again, that she always has her child's safety and best interests in mind, you have my permission to reach out then and call bullshit, because she doesn't. She does not. She has greed and social media fame on her mind, and that's it. Virality, staying relevant. Putting kids online opens them up to dangers that no rational parent would or should ever ignore. Predators, privacy violations, and long-term emotional trauma that is going to lead these kids down a path that is irreparable. Abby, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, because who am I? I'm a pleb of the internet, just a troll, just a hater, just a bully, a mean girl. But please reconsider this decision. Protect your daughter. She already has predators preying on her, and you're giving them streamlined access to her and only her. That's dangerous. And she's going to grow up and hate you for it. And you will not have a relationship with your daughter when she's older. Sometimes being a parent means being the bad guy and not giving our kids everything they want. And I know Abby probably suffers from a lot of guilt and stuff, being pulled away from her daughter and not being present, being in rehab, stuff like that. This is not the way to repair that damage. It is not. And for everyone else watching, please know that your social media currency has power. It feeds this content into the algorithm, and the best way to get it to fall off is to stop engaging. We need to be mindful about where we spend our social media currency. That is all I have for you guys today. It was another heavier one. I'm sorry. This is the important conversation that we have to have, because it's just not okay. And there is no excuse for it anymore. It is well known that this is a dumb decision, that posting kids online is dangerous. So this is not the vibe. It's not. But you guys are the vibe, and I hope you're having a absolutely fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Please don't forget to like and subscribe before heading out. It helps boost my videos into the algorithm, as we spoke about, the whole tricky algorithm stuff, and I really appreciate it at the end of the day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.